Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
You're dead. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? You're goddamn right I did!
Now you scared me.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We love you, Morgan Freeman.
Yes, we do.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of We Are Gonna Need a Bigger Blog. I'm your host, Alec Holker, and tonight, my special guest is Baylee Davis, the one and only.
Back again. Hello, hello.
If you tuned in last week at this time, 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, we were here live, but there was some minor technical difficulties.
I blame it on Alec, but
you know what? That's it, and that's all I'm going to say about it. And tonight, for all those Morgan Freeman fans out there, and also Tim Robbins.
Mainly Morgan Freeman, though, but we'll get into that.
Well, we might have an argument about that.
Oh, yeah.
But
we will.
we are talking about the Shawshank
Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption. The 1994 classic, the #1 rated movie on IMDb. Two imprisoned men bond over a number of years, finding solace and eventual redemption through acts of common decency. Don't we need that? We need that every day.
I think everyone needs to bond over redemption and find acts of common decency together.
I agree. So, Baylee, let's just give me a little rundown about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Mansfield, and if Mansfield,
funny.
Ohio,
That's
yeah.
ironic.
If anyone knows much about Shawshank, it was filmed at the Mansfield Reformatory.
Boom.
Which is
big reveal.
Big reveal.
Big reveal.
Yes.
We were coming back. The first episode, this special guest, it had to fit the location, and I just happened to run into Baylee.
Where? Where did we run into each other?
Oh, it's this kind of little country called Luxembourg.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Not much.
Just a small couple adventures here and there. But Mansfield, yes, go ahead. You were saying.
So, Mansfield is pretty much only known for Shawshank. That's not Shawshank, the Reformatory. That's their big thing. And if you've lived there, been there, have family there in any aspect, you have been to the Reformatory. And if you were like me, who has spent a majority of their life there, you have been there at least 20 times. That is a good birthday celebration. That is where you can have grad parties.
Wait, grad parties?
Oh, people rent out the Reformatory for grad parties all the time. Can you imagine that? Like, I don't know if you've seen pictures of it. Not gonna lie.
Yes, I have.
Reformatory, I love you, but you are crusty. Like,
Do they?
So
it's definitely not inside the Reformatory, like the grad party.
they can be.
They can be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I didn't personally
So
have
like
mine
in each
there.
cell, is there like,
No.
here's the cake.
Here's
the
one cell
appetizers,
is the cake. The other cell is
the sandwiches,
the
condiments.
Subway half sandwiches.
Oh, catered
Yeah.
Subway.
Oh, only cater with Subway.
Subway
for
sponsors.
sure. Actually, it would definitely be sponsored by Leaning Tower of Pizza, which is a big Mansfield tradition.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've never been, but I've heard
You've never
it's
been?
good.
Are you
Yeah.
even from Mansfield? I told you to bring your birth certificate and passport.
You've seen
Studio policy.
I definitely believe you have seen my passport.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Because we traveled in Europe. I don't know if
Right.
anyone caught that the first time around, but let me just throw it in one more time.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get busy living and get busy dying.
But the thing about, I meant to say this the first time.
Sorry,
Anyway, the thing
we
about the
can't talk
Reformatory
about it
that's
abroad all the
crazy
time. We already did
is that it's like really big with tours, and we have the Shawshank like tour, which is every place in Mansfield where the movie was filmed. You can stop and like see like where Red went to work in the market, where Red lived in the little hotel, the actual reformatory.
Brooks lives?
Yeah, Brooks. God. Yeah.
He lives.
He lives, yeah.
He lives.
Spoilers.
Do you work at the reformatory? I
No,
forgot to ask you that.
I do not. No, but my friend Brooke does, and she was a docent, which is the person that follows behind on tours. Crazy word, right?
Why not just tour guide?
Because you're not the tour guide. You don't guide the tour. You guide
Okay.
the back of the tour. It's for the stragglers
the stragglers.
that stay behind and read every single plaque, every single sign,
That's not,
have
there's
all
no,
the questions.
There's nothing wrong with
Yes,
that.
there is.
I'm a straggler. I think a lot of
And
people...
I can say so many things that is wrong with that right now. But I won't.
You're getting really defensive. I'm kind of getting scared.
Because those are the people that stay in museums for 8 hours.
Okay, can you be in the reformatory of Shawshank prison for 8 hours?
You can.
Because that's a full day.
I wouldn't, personally. I really think that you walk through it and you kind of get the feel and it's fine, but we have, like, crazy Shawshank fans that, like, need to, like, go in every room, sit at, like, captain's desk, like, warden's desk, like, sit everywhere, like...
I'd say I'd probably clock in about 4 hours there. I could eat breakfast there where they eat breakfast every time.
Yeah, of course. What would you eat?
Well, whatever the prison food is. Beans, looked like cornbread. They had cornbread, I think, every meal.
That sounds heinous.
Some rice, probably.
And it's obviously a little insider is that it's might be haunted. So some people do spend more than 8 hours if they do, like, we have, like, overnight things. So you can, like, stay overnight, see if it's actually haunted. People don't really live to tell the tale.
That's also it's kind of scary that you said that because one of my listeners, Alex Caldwell, thanks for tuning in, buddy. He asked, "Is it haunted?"
It is haunted.
It sounds like it's haunted.
Okay, I can't say it is or if it isn't.
So you haven't seen anything.
I have not. I've heard very many, like, tons of eyewitness things. Like, it was BuzzFeed, like, Unsolved did a whole thing on it, and
BuzzFeed.
a bunch of other things, like the Ghost Hunter, like, not Ghostbusters, obviously, but, like, Ghost Hunter, like...
I like the TV show.
The TV shows, like,
No way, they went there?
Yes.
They were great shows.
Sure.
I watched them.
I thought they were pretty good when I was younger, but then I think it gave me, like, the biggest fear of ghosts, so...
I mean, yeah, I believe in ghosts.
I used to not be able to watch Ghostbusters. It was that bad. I know.
Bill Murray's in it.
R.I.P.
Yeah, no, he's still alive.
No, didn't he die?
No.
What? Who am I thinking of?
You're probably thinking of, I think his name's...
I'm thinking of Doubtfire, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
That's just
That's the worst thing I could have ever done. I'm so
That's
sorry.
just, like, way off. I mean, they're both very famous actors. I totally get that.
Bill Murray just means nothing to me.
Harold Ramis, he died.
That's not who I'm thinking of.
Okay, well.
But anyway, it's I think it's haunted, personally. I do think it's haunted. But that's an unpopular opinion, maybe. One of many that I will probably say.
I mean, it looks scary. I've seen the pictures.
It's really creepy.
How many times have you gone through the tour?
I've gone through at least 20, if not more. The thing about the reformatory that really gets people talking about it is that it has just, like, a really scary feel to it because just, like, obviously it was a prison for so long. It was like built in, like, the the end of the 1800s or something as something to do with the Civil War. I don't really know. I don't want to get into it because I don't have my fact sheet out, but it just, like, it's really creepy, and, like, they have this museum at the bottom that has, like, pictures of inmates, and, like, it has, like, weapons they carved out of, like, toothbrushes and...
Oh, shivs.
Yeah, sure. Shivs,
they're called shivs, yeah.
And, just so, like, they have all this stuff, and then they have, like, little, like, stories about them, and, like, it just looks super creepy. Like...
Do they give night tours?
Yeah, I don't...
Better that, do they make it a haunted house? During the season.
They do make it a haunted house.
That'd be scary.
I went to it, had to get escorted out because I was crying so hard. Because, like I said, like,
how old
when
were
you're like 16.
16?
I, like, drove myself and my friends there.
And they had to escort you. Did you just roll up in a ball? You had to just roll up in a ball and stop moving.
I sat in my car. I played, like, this nicest, like, music, and I just, like, cried in my car for a little bit until they came back out and they were like, "You suck."
So your friends went all the way through.
Well, yeah, because it's, like, it's expensive. Like, you do have to pay to get in, and
Yeah,
it's, like,
true.
and, like, literally $30 or something crazy. And because they put a lot of money and time into this, and...
I bet it's pretty famous. I bet, like...
Yeah, no, like, people...
Were you also, like, terrified? Like, sometimes they are, like, the haunted houses...
They, like, touch you.
Oh, they touch you?
Yeah, they touch you, and it's, like,
sign
they...
a form. Mrs. Davis.
Yeah. Anyway. Yep.
Well, that's okay.
So...
That's cool.
Yeah,
So
but...
12 times. Why 12 times?
What? 12 times?
You've gone to the reformatory.
Oh, like, so many times, because, like I said, it's, like, anytime a family member comes to town, it's, like, what do you want to do? We're in Mansfield, Ohio, like, what do you want to see? Oh, I've already answered for you, we're going to go to the reformatory.
Every time a new family
yeah,
member comes.
and it's like my uncle comes, reformatory. My grandma comes. Have you been to the reformatory? Oh, cool. Baylee, has your friend have they been to the reformatory? Well, let's go. Let's go to the reform. Like it's the thing you do.
So you could be what's it called again? The Dusan.
The docent.
Docent.
Yeah.
Just collect the stragglers.
I could be. I could probably give the tour right now. I just I feel like I have no interest in it. But they also have Incarceration, which is like a music festival in the summertime. And shameless plug, I will give them all of the. This is one of the coolest things. I've never been, but I have seen
Ink with a K.
Yes, because not only it's like a metal concert, like a metal festival.
All right, so compare it to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh gosh.
A little bit more? Probably a little bit more.
Yeah, they have like a Five-Finger Death Punch.
They have Weezer.
Well, Weezer doesn't really fall necessarily in that category.
Yeah, Papa Roach.
Yeah, Blink-182.
Hailstorm,
Yeah.
Mastodon, Underforth, Steel Panther.
Steel Panther.
I can't say that name.
And
Static X.
Yeah. And while they have all of these bands going on during the weekend, they also just have tattoo artists and apprentices from all over Ohio. I think if not
cool.
other states that just give not free, but I think significantly cheap tattoos.
Have you gotten a tattoo there?
No.
Will you get a tattoo there?
Yes, at some point. It's on my bucket list.
Does your mom know that?
Mom, I think I'm gonna get a tattoo at Incarceration. Is that okay?
I hope you support that. But thank you.
But anyway.
Thanks for tuning in. So like I said, let's get busy. Let's get busy living. Or get busy dying, Baylee. You in?
I'm ready.
You got my harmonica? I have the jackhammer if you have the harmonica.
The rock hammer?
Rock hammer.
I have the rock hammer. You were supposed to bring the harmonica.
Okay. So, like I said, we're talking about the Shawshank Redemption if you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Alec Holker. We're going to need a bigger blog, and my special guest tonight is the one, the only, Baylee
Dun-dun-dun.
and Davis.
Thank you very much for that.
So it is directed by Frank Darabont. I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, but he directed it. He's also known for The Walking Dead, Green Mile.
Green Mile, great.
Green Mile, great. And The Mist, fantastic movie. Great ending. Best known for its ending. Also just best known for how kind of random it is. Horrible CGI, but, if you need a movie, it's kind of scary, I recommend.
You think is it scary? How scary?
Not that scary.
Okay.
But,
maybe I can watch it then.
there's monsters. So kind of people die pretty gruesome. I'll just say that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds scary. Okay.
But it's directed by him. It's directed by our good man, Frank. But it was also written by the legend, Stephen King.
The one and only.
The legend.
Stephen King.
Shout out to you, Stephen King.
Yes.
Hope you're listening.
I love Stephen King.
His, what'd you call it?
Novella.
Novella.
Yes. It's a very short novel. Yeah.
It is called Rita Hayworth. And for those who, big fans of the movie, they know the Rita Hayworth is one of the posters that our good friend, Andy Dufresne, gets.
I would consider him a good friend of mine, honestly.
Andy?
Yeah.
He is a nice guy that you would be friend. He looks approachable.
He is awkward.
He's super awkward.
Very intelligent and just
But once you get to know him, he's a great guy.
For half the movie, you're like, my God, did he kill his wife and her lover? So
yeah, so
you like the mysterious,
right.
The
so our
mystery
good
of
friend
him.
also is accused of murder of two people. His wife, that she was definitely cheating on him.
Yeah.
And his wife's lover.
Boo.
Who happened to be her golf coach, but
Boo, golf.
Yeah. So he's accused of it because it makes sense. He got really drunk.
Yeah, he was outside the cabin.
Drove.
Hammered.
Yeah. At least 4 bottles of some liquor.
Yeah, it was definitely a brown liquor. Questionable taste, but whatever.
He looked really drunk too. His face, his hair was all messed up.
Probably a bourbon. He seems like a bourbon man.
He looks like a bourbon guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And one thing for sure, don't
you don't
drink
trust bourbon men.
I was just gonna say, drink in moderation.
Oh, okay. Also, drink
yeah,
in moderation.
I was just gonna say that, but also don't drink and drive.
Absolutely.
And so he also drives to probably the golf coach's house. His wife is there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also has a gun in his glove compartment, and he's about ready to go in.
Like pulls it out.
Is
examining it.
out of the car.
He's thinking, yes or no.
He knows his wife. He knows his wife is cheating on it. It's obvious.
Yeah.
And then we jump to the court, and then he's accused, and before you know it, we are on a bus to Shawshank Redemption. Not the movie's not set in Mansfield, Ohio, but that's where
it's set in Maine.
Set in Maine.
So now it's 1947, and he's on his way to Shawshank.
One-way ticket to Shawshank. So Andy Dufresne is played by the Tim Robbins. What a great guy.
Love him.
He's got a lot of great movies. He's a successful banker that he's accused of murder, like we just said. And even more, he is super awkward. Like, you don't look at him. You're really not rooting for him at all. And then when you see Morgan Freeman, you get
Morgan Freeman.
Butterflies get in your stomach.
I honestly can tell you that I'm pretty sure that I do get butterflies. Like, not even kidding. Like, I think Hulk Hogan was my first celebrity crush.
Morgan. Shout out to you, big guy. What's going on?
But anyway, Morgan
Baylee
Freeman.
Davis. All right, continue. Sorry.
Morgan Freeman is, like, very high up there on that list. For sure.
Is it
like
the voice? It's got to be the voice.
It's the voice, for sure. Like I was saying, when I narrate things in my head, it's Morgan Freeman's voice.
Not saying that Morgan Freeman's not a good-looking guy.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Morgan Freeman, if you are free on Thursday, and you want to hold my hand on Thursday, when I am free, if you are free too, hang out with me on Thursday.
And if I can come too, just let me know.
No, it's just going to be me and Morgan.
Come on. That's upsetting. So, we meet Morgan. Morgan Freeman plays Red, which is the greatest person to ever do prison.
For sure. He is, like, the definition of, like, what you consider, like, a movie prison man. I truly believe that.
If you had to go to a class and learn how to, like, be great at being in prison, he would be your professor.
Oh, absolutely.
He's probably a doctor in prison.
He has a PhD in Shawshank.
PhD
exactly. In prison and Shawshank and being just the most wonderful, amazing man alive.
Didn't you say you wanted to take him out, right?
Thursday?
Yeah. Is it Thursday or Friday?
Thursday. I will even pay for anything you want. Under $20. I don't get paid till next Tuesday.
Okay, so we meet Red, and they're taking bets on the new inmates.
The newbies.
The fresh fish.
Ugh.
And this is kind of like this next scene sums up Shawshank.
Absolutely.
So they take bets on these fresh fish, and they are betting on who is going to crack first. Who's going to, just lose their mind. I don't know. Maybe that happens often.
Oh, absolutely. Like, first night, because, like, you have the people that have been there for years and years and years.
They're so used to it.
That prison is not just prison. It's their home now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not a house. It's a home.
A home.
And
it's homey.
Yeah. And they have that carved into their cell, probably. And so, of course, they're going to be taunting them, like, seeing who's the first that's going to crack. Like, that's entertainment for them. That's just, like, a good Thursday night. Not to keep bringing up Thursday, that's the only day I can think of. And, like, Red, ever the thoughtful man, takes one look at awkward Andy and is like, he's going to crack.
Yeah.
10 smokes.
10 smokes.
10 smokes, you're going to crack.
They put 5 smokes, they put 2 smokes. But then, one of Red's friends puts, I don't know how many cigarettes, maybe 10 cigarettes?
I think 10 was, like, pretty high, so I think anywhere from, like, 5 to 10.
He definitely feels pretty confident. And it is on this
God.
very overweight inmate.
Mm-hmm.
And he's crying, he's screaming for his mama. And this ginormous person of a man named Captain Hadley, utterly terrifying.
He's
but
so
also,
scary.
His name's Clancy Brown, and he also happens to be the voice of Mr. Krabs.
Which is, like, the most ironic thing I think I've ever...
If you didn't know that, every time you watch Shawshank
If you didn't know that the voice of Mr. Krabs
just
cinematically kills people in Shawshank.
Just murders.
Like,
brutally
kills
gotta
people.
hurt.
Like, and then just absolutely...
He murders someone.
Yeah, but what's weird about...
He murders, like, 2 people, practically.
Yeah.
One and a half. We'll say 1.5.
No, because he definitely... he murders the fat one. my God, I feel like I just bullied someone. He murdered the fat one. I don't think, yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah.
Or is that, like, up to interpretation?
No, it's definitely, no.
And then he shoots, what's his name?
Timmy. Or Jimmy.
Jimmy,
I think
no.
Jimmy.
Tommy.
Tommy, it's Tommy.
Tommy. He shoots Tommy, which is, like, a crazy scene.
He took, like, brutal.
And then they're, like, with the whole reasoning, like, oh, he was
Would you
trying
say
to sneak out.
We're kind of jumping, but wouldn't you say, like, the warden kind of killed him?
Yes, of course, the warden obviously did it. Like, the warden asked him to leave the prison. The warden was like, come speak to me 3 feet from the prison gates. That's not bizarre. You know what I mean? But it's like, and then he walks away, and then it's like, Captain Hadley, like, look, this man's trying to escape from Shawshank. No way in heck.
So he's.
But what's weird about his character, I really feel like you kind of don't hate Captain Hadley. You know what I mean?
We'll talk about that. Yeah, well, he kind of gains some respect, but not a whole lot. So poor fresh fish, poor fat bastard.
My heart goes out to you, fat bastard.
Yeah, poor guy. So other important characters before we kind of keep flowing with it. After the poor fat bastard, we have Bob Gunton as Warden Norton, who. He's a really good warden, honestly. He is top notch.
Corrupt, religious, absolutely runs the place.
But you kind of also you like him. The first thing
I
he
gotta
says.
tell you, I did not like him.
One of the first things he says is the 2 things you'll learn in here: discipline. 2 things you'll get when you're in Shawshank: discipline and the Bible. Here you'll receive both. Put your trust in the Lord. Your ass belongs to me. Now that is the talk.
That is definitely something that you just have to respect, like
of a badass.
But badass as he is, he's also the main antagonist, and he sucks.
He's a fake friend.
Yeah, he's the person that will literally be your best friend to your face, then behind your back be like, "Oh God, Alex sucks."
He would throw you under the bus.
Yeah, literally. Actually, literally, probably would.
So, like I said, that's Warden Norton. We'll talk about him as we go on. The evening, Clancy Brown, Captain Hadley. Shout out. Also, Starship Troopers. I forgot to mention that.
And SpongeBob.
Nice.
I know, but I just wanted to do it again.
Right. And then also we'll shout out James Whitmore. Or Whitmore for playing Brooks Hatlin.
Brooks was...
We love you.
Brooks
we
was
love you, James.
Such a good character. Like, when I first watched it when I was like 8, I went through this phase for a few years.
Oh. I saw phases. You have a lot. For the record, Baylee has a lot of phases, so this is me interesting.
I like to try everything out.
All right, you were saying your phase.
I went through a phase for a few years. I definitely was pretty old. Not like 21 old, but like old.
Also, a happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be finally be in the 21 and up club. But anyway, I had this phase where anytime I would go to a restaurant that had the things
paper.
you can like write on, draw on, whatever. Typically a Roadhouse, but whatever. And I am from Mansfield. We are overrun with Roadhouses. I actually worked at a Roadhouse, and anytime I would leave, I would sign it with Brooks was here, and so was Red, and so was Baylee. And the same handwriting that looked like I carved it in there, and like definitely I feel like I scared some people.
And how many Roadhouses? Every Roadhouse?
Any restaurant that I had
any
it.
restaurant,
like,
not just Roadhouses.
And this was like a 3-year-long thing.
So how many would you guess? How many are there?
Well,
that mean that you wrote. Maybe they're not there anymore.
Here's hoping that I become famous, and then everyone that I ever did that to saved it. Like, cut it out, saved it, and are like, wow.
It's on, like, the wall.
Yeah. Wow.
Because maybe if they cropped your name and just had the 2. That's in the movie.
Yeah, but then that's just offensive. Like, I outed myself for a reason.
But you wrote on their papers, so it's kind of like,
I paid for the dinner.
That is true. But did you pay for the paper?
I paid for the dinner and their tip. Therefore, I'm paying for their salary.
Getting all offensive again. Sheesh.
That was probably the best phase I've ever had, though. I think I might bring it back.
Shout out, Brooks. We love you.
Shout out.
What would Brooks do? Just, be like Brooks.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more.
Be like Brooks.
Be like Brooks.
BLB.
BLB. Hashtag BLB.
That sounds like that's something else. Hashtag BLB.
I don't know.
Anyway, be like Brooks.
So, yeah, just be like Brooks. But also, be like Red. So, Andy, after Andy's kind of going through prison, he's met this group called the Sisters. We don't really like them.
Boggs sucks.
They do some really gross stuff, if you know what I mean.
Well, okay, but, like, honestly, it never, like, fully discusses if they do anything
So, the
sexual.
Sisters is a group of inmates that like...
to prey on weaker prisoners.
And yes, and beat them up. Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe possibly do other things that men do together if they get
When you're in
lonely
prison.
when they're in prison, like
And-
the soap, like drop the soap. But then the movie never really says.
The
You
only
don't really
time
know.
that there's like any indication that there might have been a hint towards that is when they're in that cinema
Yes.
room or whatever that was, the library room, and they obviously like kick out
film
Brooks.
room.
Yeah, they kick out Brooks and they're gonna like just beat them to hell. You know what I mean? And he like turns around to grab the.
Like the table, he grabs
No, he does not grab the table. He grabs the. What was that?
the
Was
reel. It's the reel.
I once again wanted to say hubcap.
That's for cars.
Yeah, it's what it looks like.
Okay.
He
You
grabs
said.
the reel to like hit him with it, but it looks like he was going to like bend over. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's definitely a strong possibility.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an all male prison in the 1950s. Not that that matters, but like, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, nowadays they get internet access, so I'm sure.
In prison?
Yeah, they have like a computer lab.
Oh, no way.
This guy in my hometown that I went to high school with is in prison right now, and he keeps posting on Facebook.
Good for him. Keep posting.
And he's like, God, I hate these people. Like, when's my court date?
Okay, so Andy meets Red in the yard,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where we really meet Red. And of course, he's just being the Morgan Freeman that he is. He's just
Yeah.
tossing baseball, looking like, he's chilling. He looking like a bro,
Looking like someone you want to hang out with on Thursday, yeah.
right, bro? Just tossing
Yeah, bro.
baseball with you. We're tossing baseball right now.
Oh my God, I cannot believe I just pretended to catch this ball.
So, Andy asks for a rock hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of puzzled by it too, honestly. When the first time you see it, you're like, why does he run a rock hammer?
Because you don't really know what a rock hammer is. Like, did you know what that is?
No, not. I was picturing like a.
A hammer.
Like a big
or like
hammer.
an axe or something.
Something
Not
heavier.
an axe, but like.
But we've come to learn that this rock hammer is about the size of like my palm. I'm not saying my palms are big, but they're moderately sized.
No, we come to learn that Andy can bamboozle everyone. That's what we come to learn.
Spoiler alert: Andy bamboozles
Everyone.
everybody.
Andy
End of movie.
bamboozles Shawshank. Done.
So, Andy goes to Red because Red is the Cheeseburger Eddie of Shawshank Prison. So if you don't know that
Yeah.
reference, Cheeseburger Eddie is the guy from Longest Yard, the one with Adam Sandler, not the really old one, but he's Cheeseburger Eddie. He just pulls out McChickens and McDoubles.
He pulls out what you need when you need it.
Yes, exactly. And that might be a McChicken or McFlurry
Or it might be a
or
rock
McNuggets.
hammer or a Rita Hayworth poster.
And then unless you're Red.
Oh, I thought we were just doing like a parallel here. Okay, yeah.
But if you're Red, yes. What do you bring? Rock hammer, Rita Hayworth posters.
Bag of drugs, whatever you need.
Probably yeah.
Yeah,
Shiv, probably.
yeah. Oh, I feel like you can.
But
make
I
your
don't
own
think Red was
shiv.
into that business. Remember, he had competitors.
For the shivs?
No. Just for, like, business in general. Like, getting stuff, like, that people need. Like, posters and stuff. Like, there were multiple... Guys, it's kind of like... there's, like, Red is, like, the Amazon of also Shawshank, too. So, like, he's like, the middleman, but
Yeah.
he's, like, also...
Like, who is he
guy.
getting this stuff from? Who's he asking?
Dude, there's, like, great, like, montage scenes of all of them. Like,
yeah,
from
like,
the laundry, and then also, like... Guy who
gets
works
the mail, and like then
He knows-
Brooks
he's in on it, and then Brooks is
yeah,
in on
he's
it.
delivery to Andy,
and then the guy
it's
who's
like,
doing the towels, like, he's in on it, too.
yeah. So it's like
It's a big
everyone's
system.
in on it, and Red is the one that single-handedly started it all. Once again, thank you, Red, for saving the world.
Or helping Andy bamboozle everyone.
So is it Andy that bamboozled, or is it more Red that bamboozled?
That's
then?
Andy. It's definitely Andy.
I don't know.
But did Red?
He provided the hammer.
So they do some business, and now they become friends. Now Andy's sitting at them with lunch, They're friends. They talk about this thing called hope. Bailey, don't you know something called hope too?
Yeah, I do.
It's a main theme in this movie. If you
It's
didn't
huge,
notice.
like-
If you haven't watched this movie, one of the main themes and biggest theme is this thing
You
called
really could
HOPE.
watch it and not fully pay attention, and you will fully be aware that hope is like a huge theme in this movie.
It's
like,
very inspiring.
Andy embraces it to survive. I mean, Red's against it. He's like, Hope, let me tell you something, my friend. Like, hope is a dangerous thing.
Quotes. You got to quote him.
Did I not?
I'm kidding. Go ahead. Stop.
Hope is a dangerous thing. Hope can drive a man insane. It's got no use on the inside. And so that's just like his feelings for having hope in prison. And that's obviously what the feeling he's had since he got in. And what's interesting is the last two words of the movie are quite literally Red saying, I hope. Like, no, I hope to see Andy again. I hope to have a better life. I hope. And like, they get busy living and they get busy dying. I think it just speaks to hope and forsaking it and then embracing it. Just like I don't know, it's a big mindset thing for sure.
But it's inspirational. And
Yeah.
Andy he walks with that hope. He likes it a lot. It inspires him every day. Mm-hmm. Because supposedly, Andy is innocent. We don't really see much more of what happens.
No, not till later.
Not till later. And so we're following Andy through his prison life. And prison doesn't look too bad besides the group of sisters. But that's dealt with thanks to...
It doesn't look too bad.
Well, I said prison doesn't look too bad besides the sisters. So, I mean, Andy makes his room. You know, he's got some posters. He's got his...
I feel like Andy had the intelligence he needed to really survive and, like, make the best of it. And to bamboozle.
But, like, his room looks, somewhat okay. Like, he's got a shelf for his books.
A Rita Hayworth poster.
That probably helps, sometimes.
I'm sure.
But, it's a good time. And this is also, so when we first meet Red and Andy, we don't know. But now we know because we've seen the movie so many times. But it's the start of the biggest bromances in movie history.
The biggest one, for sure.
Like, one of the top, at least.
Cinematic history, it's...
Han and Chewbacca.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just naming
I'll put it out. No, I'll agree. I have never seen Star Wars, which I know, sad.
Ron and Harry. It's pretty
Oh,
close.
yeah.
And Hermione. We'll say Hermione, too. Like, that's a kind of group.
Yeah, but, like, that's not a bromance. That's suddenly something different.
We're doing, like, a care package. We'll
Okay,
bundle.
okay,
So,
sure.
like, who else? There's a lot. There's so many. The guys from Lethal Weapon. I don't know.
The two guys from A Separate Piece, so I still don't remember their names.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yes.
We can even say Pulp Fiction.
Absolutely.
Vincent and Jules.
Absolutely.
So this bromance.
Leo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt and...
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, that's the best Tarantino movie in my personal opinion.
Really?
I would argue that one.
That's a hot take.
I love Tarantino movies, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood changed my life a little bit.
It was a great movie, I'll agree.
Yes, it was great.
Hashtag Oscars week, everybody.
Yes.
Hashtag Oscars week. Brad Pitt, we love you. You're going to win.
Yes. Leo, we love you too, but Brad Pitt, we really love you.
We love you and The Revenant, though, Leo. Okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But, so, back to the bromance. Question of the decade.
Question of the lifetime.
Question of the movie. Are Red and Andy gay?
Without a doubt.
You're saying yes.
Yeah, for sure. I think that they had an emotional connection, a mental connection, and probably a physical connection.
Because they do go on a boat together. Eventually.
They
They're
live
in
like,
Mexico.
what's he, and Andy is in Shawshank for 20 years, I think it is. He's in...
No, two life sentences. Andy's in...
But he doesn't, but he sneaks out.
But he sneaks out.
He
yeah,
bamboozles.
40 years.
So
40
it's like
years.
20, it's however long he's
40
in there.
years.
God, was it really? Whew.
It's a long time.
Gosh. So, yeah, he was in there. They were alone, basically. Like, they had all the other guys. But for all intents and purposes, that's alone. You know what I mean? And they get out. And what do?
They go to Mexico, baby.
Alone. In
2
a
tickets.
Boat.
Let's
alone.
go.
2 tickets to paradise.
Count me in, Morgan Freeman.
No, count me in, Morgan Freeman. You have your pick. Take your pick.
I'm going to pass. Nothing like there's wrong with that, though. But
I hope it's a sailboat, though.
if you think so, let me know. It looks like kind of a sailboat. But, I mean, they're okay. There's a valid point. Just a thought, 3 throw it out there. They do get lonely. Prison's a lonely time. They hang out a lot. He gets some harmonica. They get posters. They
He
talk
like
all
gets
the
the
time.
poster for him for free when he comes back from the infirmary. Like, they start just being
It's a bromance
They start
also.
being just like absolute homies.
Homies.
Yeah.
Super inspirational for future homies out there too. They might like.
If you need inspiration, watch Shawshank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Absolutely.
So after Andy also does this magical thing where he has these two French women voice their voices go all over the PA system.
Oh,
of
the
prison.
Mozart song. Yeah.
The Mozart song. It's beautiful. And this was actually the first time I ever saw like a clip of Shawshank. It was a commercial, and it was just the image of the people, all the people standing in the yard, all the prison inmates in the yard. And they were looking up, and I had no idea what that was. I was like, "What is that? Why are they all looking somewhere? It must be something, UFO."
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't. It was just these two French ladies,
That'd be
which
a
is
good
beautiful.
Like,
I
that'd be
bet
a good like a sequel to make,
spin-off
like an alien version.
possibly.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, imagine. I bet none of those people in that prison know French.
Are you kidding
Do you
me?
know French?
Absolutely not. Oui.
Merci beaucoup. Where'd you learn that?
France, once again.
So, he plays this music over the PA system. He also gets in trouble for this. It's a common thing.
But
Get in trouble.
like he'll never regret that. Like that's probably the best thing he has ever done in his whole life.
He was really happy about it too.
Yeah.
Like he had the music. Like he says that at lunch one time. He's like,
Music's in my
I
head.
wasn't alone down there. I had the music. That's all I needed.
That's crazy to think
It
about
was
that.
it was beautiful, honestly.
Yeah,
So
brings a tear to my eye.
So Andy also he was able to get control of the PA system because he started a library, or he started writing to the community council, the city council
For so long.
for so long, like 2 letters a day, maybe even 3, maybe 5.
For like
to-
5 years or something crazy. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
So it's a lot of letters. So he's asking for books for the prison.
That's motivation. That's what we all need.
Yeah, honestly, everyone needs to read.
What
a
would
book.
Andy do? That's what we all need to be thinking.
WWAD.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Wad.
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 So he gets these books. Eventually, they do get a library. And he's also doing the taxes for all the guards, which is super nice of him.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have to, but it also kind of, I think it makes him feel like who he is back in reality. So it kind of
Yeah.
brings
Like
him
some
back.
normalcy. Some like, yeah, I definitely think it brings just like some normalcy and some like institutionalization for himself within a non-institutionalized place.
Yeah. But also, right before we get to the library scene, Brooks Hadlin, our main man,
Yeah.
he gets to leave the prison. He's been in there for longer than Andy
Yeah.
or Red.
Yeah. It
He's
was
seen,
like,
I think he says
like
he's seen
50
five
yeah.
five wardens.
yeah, I don't know how long they have like a term or what, but like,
I think it's just like they stay there and then like,
and they're like, I'm done.
or they die or something like
Oh,
that.
great. Okay. All we know, Brooks is old as dirt, so that's.
Jeez, it's kind of
But
harsh.
his thing is like you think that being able to leave the prison would be what he wants to do,
And happy,
but it's
but-
just like it's not. Like he goes crazy. He literally even like tries to kill.
Haywood.
Haywood, yeah.
Thanks, Caldwell. He texted me. He's like, it's Haywood that said that.
Said
The-
what?
The character's name. Haywood. Brooks tries to kill Haywood.
Oh, okay.
That's the character.
No, I get it. I just was not okay. We're on the same page now. Thank you for the facts.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. Alex and Alec.
Yeah, he's a good friend.
You guys get confused a lot ever?
No, because he's Caldwell and I'm Holker.
Wow. I love that.
So, Brooks does not handle leaving Shawshank well, which you think you would, but he's been so institutionalized. Like we said before,
Yeah.
all the prison inmates already in there, they were bedding on because they're so used to it because they think it's their
Yeah,
home.
like I think Red talks about how the walls are like a crazy thing, like how like you start to hate them, eventually you learn to just accept them, and then suddenly they're like your friends. Like you get used to the walls. Like once again, it's not a house; it's a home. Like you know. So he gets.
I do know because I have my own homes, but no, they're not prison.
I thought you were gonna say I would know. I've been to prison.
No, I have not been to prison.
That's gonna be the craziest joke to make. And like,
Hey,
well,
hey, at least
no, don't say it.
I mean, no. I
Don't
wouldn't
say it. Do not out me.
Also, my bad. Okay, sorry, Jake. Your brother was also texting me, too. Shout out. It was Jake. 2 brothers that are texting me.
Okay.
So
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Jake. He'll be on in a couple weeks.
Cool.
So, we get Andy. We get the saddest montage of our main man, Brooks.
I think
alert.
often a lot about how he, like, literally before he, I'll let you do the spoiler. Before everything happens, but he's like, when I went in, I saw, like, 1 car, and then I came out, and it's like, everyone has cars.
That is crazy. That's
Can you
like
imagine that?
Yeah.
That's a change that you can never relate to, I truly feel like.
It'd be super overwhelming.
Yeah. And then he just, like, works this crap market job scanning things. He gets yelled at because he has no idea what he's doing.
Well, his hands get tired. That's what he says.
Yeah, also because he's 106. Like,
he is super old, too.
Yeah. Like,
he's never seen a car. He's only seen one car. And then he sees dozens.
like, imagine that.
I couldn't. I can't. I see like 100 cards.
It's just like something that you like cannot relate to because it's literally, I feel like you just can't put it on a scale that we can relate to, truly.
Yeah, because we see so much stuff every day.
Yeah.
We are so...
It's just like first of all, we live in an era of just like constant technological advances, so
Yes.
we just can never relate. Like, this was definitely just like 1950 something.
It's something, yeah.
1960s, I don't know. But,
it's 1966. Well, it's 1966 when everyone gets bamboozled.
Well, are you going to give the spoiler alert?
No, I just said 1966.
Are you going to give the spoiler alert about Brooks?
He wrote Brooks was here. That's what I'll say. And was is past tense.
I'm tearing up.
Because
Can you hear it in my voice? I'm tearing up.
I can see it in your eyes, but no one else. Now you're kind of got me tearing up.
I'm so sad.
Okay, so we get this really sad montage.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's super upset about it.
Yeah.
Especially Morgan Freeman. Especially all our other inmates.
Yeah. Brooks was like their, like,
Grandpa,
house
maybe?
mother.
House mother?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like the equivalent maybe of like a house mother sort of situation.
Maybe like Andy's grandpa, because like he kind of introduced Andy to the books.
Absolutely.
So maybe Andy's grandpa, but everyone else is like house dad, house grandpa. Either one.
Yeah.
So we learned some information from this, greaser named Tommy.
Yep.
Which he's a nice guy. He brings some energy
He's
in the middle.
stupid.
Okay. Yes, he's not well educated, but he's a greaser. But he brings some energy right in the middle of the movie.
It allows Andy to shine.
It allows Andy to shine, but also it brings some fire in the movie where you would probably get bored. Like if Tommy wasn't here in the movie, it'd probably
It's a huge turning point.
It would be a little slow, but like when Tommy comes on the screen, they crank up some old electric guitar 60s, like Johnny Cash era.
Absolutely.
And Elvis.
And he has like the tight black shirt, like
greased hair, he's slick back, he's got his rolled white sleeve on. He's talking
John Travolta, he's coming for you.
Exactly. So we meet him. Unfortunately, he has a very, we kind of briefly touched on this, he has a very sad ending too.
Yeah.
But this sets up Andy to just drop the biggest insult, I guess, in the 60s back in the day. Why are you so obtuse?
I think it's a good one. I use that.
You use, why are you so obtuse?
Yeah.
So you're not greater than 90 degrees. Obtuse. Angles.
No, you're greater than 90 degrees.
I am greater than
You're obtuse. You're being obtuse. Why are you being so obtuse right now?
So, like, is it the insult since, like, you're making the 90-degree angle? Like,
well, no, so, like, this is, like, 90 degrees.
Right.
So, like, the acute 90 degrees obtuse is, like, bigger. So
if you're saying,
you're
like,
actually bigger than a loser. You're bigger than, like, an L.
Oh.
No,
well,
but,
so
like,
I'm saying,
really,
like, if someone
just, like,
calls
obtuse,
you, like, oh, you're
you're
a 90-degree angle, you're fantastic. But if you're obtuse, you're not. I don't know. I just know that, like, if you're saying that, like, why are you being so obtuse, it's just, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just that, like, they, like, aren't they're not, like, understanding, like, they're being, like, awful, like, not on the same page, like, condescending. It's obtuse, like, just, like, negativity. Yeah. It's
just, like, negative adjectives.
Well, we see it must be a pretty mean insult because Ward Norton gets pissed.
Yeah.
He gets really pissed. He gets fired up. He sends Andy to
and he is intelligent, so
he's a smart man. That's why you kind of like also like him. Like he's smart, he's brilliant, he's kind of
can't relate.
So Andy goes to the hole for like a while.
Yeah.
It's really he looks really he hasn't
looks-
seen the
yeah,
light.
he looks
It's like you don't
horrible
see
when
the
he
light
gets
of
out.
day
Yeah.
in months.
He looks like my housemate who's super sick right now. Shout out to you, Katie.
Katie's really sick.
Yeah. She has bronchitis, double ear infection,
Oh.
like a chest cold. She has regional this weekend, her mock trial.
Oh my god, she's on mock trial.
Yeah.
All right, we're with you, Katie.
In spirit.
I got some cough drops to throw. I'll give them to Bailey.
Yeah, I'll give him to you.
So after Andy gets out of the hole, this is when he bamboozles everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And
Crazy scene.
crazy scene.
Absolutely.
He's
wild.
also been setting up the Warden Norton forever, using like since back in the day, you could easily just make up people just by having paper. Like there was no phone books or anything like that. Like you could get away with murder.
Yeah, and
really
then you could
easy.
really just like disappear.
Yeah.
Theoretically, yeah.
And one of the ways he kind of goes, he uses the money from the warden that the warden's been laundering. So if you ever want to launder money,
Go to prison or go to Mattress Firm.
or Goodwill.
Specifically the one in Mansfield. I will help you out there.
She knows some people.
Yeah.
So he goes to all these banks afterwards. He like deposits all the money, makes all his money. But one of the ways he did it, he had to have a nice outfit, whole suit, brand spanking shoes,
Oh, yeah.
and he steals all this is all warden stuff. He steals warden shoes, warden suit. So
And the warden, like, I'm sure this time, I don't really know how much like a salary would be for a warden, but I'm sure he was pretty well off, you know?
I assume so. He's got a nice suit, and he got some
Yeah.
nice shoes,
and he's just...
and he's laundered
and
a
he has
lot of money.
He has just a huge stick up his ass. That's when you know.
He's a sleaze bag.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with a lot of money and very nice clothes. And Andy decides to just, risk it to get the biscuit. He wears Warden Norton's shoes back to his prison cell, and no one notices.
Oh, God.
I feel like the sound of it, of those types of shoes,
They click.
they click.
They're clacking. They're clicking.
But-
like, you
but
know.
Red
There's, like,
says
so many
no
scenes
one ever
in
looks at a man's shoe. And I just,
Yeah.
it might just be because back then everyone had the same shoe, just black sole leather shoes or
Yeah.
brown.
Probably.
But those shoes click, especially on
And they're probably shiny.
reformatory.
Because it's like metal. It's like not metal. It's like concrete.
Yeah, concrete.
Which
yeah.
I feel like you're gonna be. Yeah, and there's so many scenes of like business, business
Yeah, their
movies
feet-
where like
their
it's
feet
like
just
yeah, it
start
starts in
opening
the
up.
movie and it's like
It's loud.
yeah, you know that that's it.
It's a lot. And we also learn, but then we find out that Rita Hayworth, this poster, he also gets Marilyn Monroe, Rita Hayworth, a bunch of other old, super gorgeous women. But he stumbled, lucky for him, his cell was touching the last cell on the wall. And his wall is made up some type of rock that just crumbles.
Yeah, and this is a rock man, so
He's a big rock guy.
he knows.
He
knows
rocks
rock.
on.
He knows, he's a rocking and rolling. all
He's
the
rocking
time.
and rolling.
Yeah.
And that's why he uses the rock hammer, because it's just small enough to chip away. And we find out that he takes all the extra dirt.
Because we think that he's just out there making chess pieces with
Right.
rocks
Well,
that
he
people
is.
steal from the fields and whatnot, which he is.
He is, but
But
he
he's
makes them from the
For
wall.
19, the reason I said it was 20 years is because he said for 19 years he was cutting the tunnel.
Really,
Yeah. Alex, correct me if I'm wrong.
Jake.
Jake, correct
Sorry.
me if I'm wrong.
It's definitely a long time. It's definitely a long time.
Yeah.
He gets through it all.
I just can't imagine like.
I mean, but like he said, they'd do anything to, pass the time in prison.
Mhm.
Man's got a lot of time in prison.
Yeah, especially because he's innocent. Red's the only guilty man in Shawshank.
Well, we think. And he's
It's
innocent.
literally said like 3 times that Red is the only guilty man in Shawshank. Like, although it's not factual and it's kind
Well,
of
Tommy
it's
was.
kind of a little inside joke.
Tommy was.
Tommy's stupid.
You said that again. I like Tommy. Why are you bashing on Tommy?
I liked Tommy. He just didn't stand out to me the way Red did, or Brooks.
Of course not. Red's Morgan Freeman. You love Morgan Freeman.
Well, do you think that so we all agreed that Morgan Freeman was the best casted, was casted right. Like, that was the best person to cast for Red.
I think so. I can't. I mean, anytime I see
Could you
Morgan-
name anyone else right now that you think could have like done that well?
the '90s actors.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I only think of Morgan Freeman. That's why.
Because did you know that in the original novella by Stephen King that Red was originally written as a ginger-haired, like middle-aged white guy. So, like they originally we're gonna have like Clint Eastwood or like Harrison Ford or Paul Newman
Maybe because I'm
considered
Irish.
for the role. Yeah, and does that make sense? Because
It does. 'Cause
everyone's
he's
like,
redhead.
why does he say that? I guess is he just like super funny, you know?
He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
He's cracking jokes.
He's cracking jokes in prison. That's when you know you have a handle on your life.
We also get one of the best lines from Red. It's a great montage of Andy crawling through the pipe of poop.
Oh God, I have my baby pictures taken in that pipe.
No, you do not.
Yeah, I do.
We need those. We need those now.
I will.
We need those now.
I will, don't worry.
So in 1966, Andy Dufresne escaped from Shawshank prison. All they found of him was muddy said prison clothes, a bar of soap, and an old rock hammer, damn near worn down to the nub. And so we see him crawl through the hole that he dug through. Then he uses this rock. You think he brought the rock with him to the pipe? Like he found it in the yard or something like that and just saved it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
So I was wondering about that. It's like, is the rock there? Like, has there always been a rock by this pipe? Just waiting for Andy.
Ooh.
Just a thought. Probably
I don't
not.
know.
He probably brings
I
it.
think that's like a little deep for Shawshank.
But then Andy crawled to freedom through 500 yards of shit, smelling foulness. I can't even imagine. Could you imagine that?
No.
You're probably seeing people's corn from lunch.
Oh,
and
you're
then
like, oh, there's that.
and Andy skipped lunch that day, so he's probably like, oh man, they had corn dogs today.
And like you know someone has like unhealthy bowels and it's like
Oh, they don't. Oh, that food is definitely terrible.
so it's probably green.
It's probably green. It's probably gross. Either way.
Yeah. No, it's not probably gross.
It's very gross.
There's no shit smelling foulness that is not gross.
500 yards. It's 5 football fields. Just shy of half a mile. Could you do that? How much would someone have to pay you to do that?
Am I in prison in this scenario?
You are in prison.
Then
Actually, no,
I think
you're
I
not
would
in
do it
prison.
for free.
You're not in prison.
Like you mean like as in tomorrow you set up 5 football fields covered with poop.
Well,
and
a pipe of poop. A pipe of poop.
How
Yes.
thick is this pipe cover? You know what I mean? Like
You know,
is it just
it's
like
thick
the
enough
walls?
that you can.
Well, I know how big I've been in
All right,
the
we'll
pipe.
do this. Arm
I
length.
have been in.
Like
Okay.
you could do a breaststroke through it.
Okay, so I can breaststroke through the pipe of poop. Okay, got it. I think that I would only need to be paid $500.
$500.
Yeah,
It's not a lot.
that's $100 per yard.
That's true.
I think that's a really good deal.
That's-
Plus, I get to say I crawled through 5 football fields of poop.
That's a lot of poop.
That's something that not everyone can say. Can you say that?
No, I can't say that.
How much do I have to pay you?
At least $10,000.
Oh, God. Did I go a little low?
Yeah. You always go high. So they end up leaving, and also Andy just, has this really in detail note for Red to go to this rock under this tree in the middle of a field that Red has to take a bus to, and then also travel to Mexico.
Yep.
That's a lot, especially back then. There's no Google Maps. There's no Apple Maps. There's no Google Earth. How does he do it? I don't know.
A compass.
A compass.
And his love for Andy.
Oh, his love for Andy.
That's all you need is a compass and love. That's how everyone got through Europe.
That's how. That's how I get through every day.
For sure, compass and love.
Compass and love.
I actually have that tattooed. That's
Compass.
what I'm gonna get at
That's a
incarceration.
good one. That's not too bad.
I'm gonna get that at incarceration.
It's not too bad. So we have a question from one of our listeners, also Alex Caldwell, or
Okay.
Jake and Alex. He said, "Who's the one being redeemed in the Shawshank Redemption?" You can say anybody.
Well, I think everyone's being redeemed.
Everyone's being redeemed.
Like well, not everyone. Like I think it's just a movie about redeeming yourself. Like Because, like, Andy didn't kill her. Or her lover.
No, right. He did not.
So, like, what is he redeeming himself for? Like, you know? And...
Maybe he did something before. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, sure. So he has all
He's got a bad
guilt.
drinking problem. He could have done anything.
Everyone has a bad drinking problem. Kidding. And, so, I don't know. I just think that... I feel like the redemption, I would say it's Andy or Red, for sure.
Andy or Red, you can't decide.
Yeah, I just feel like, 1, because Red's guilty. 2, it says Red in the name Redemption. 3...
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, 3, there's a movie called Red Dead Redemption nowadays. So...
Great video game.
That's a video game. God, I'm not on the ball with that one. I said movie.
Oh.
Is that not a movie?
Red Dead Redemption?
Where have I heard that?
It's a video game. It's 2 video games.
I've definitely never played it. Like, where have I heard those words?
It's a video game. Like that.
Anyway,
they're fantastic. They're cowboy games. They're awesome.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
They're so cool.
Okay.
You become best friends with a horse. The more you pet your horse, the more your horse like trusts you, and the faster it can go.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because the faster your horse is, the faster you can get away from the lawmen that are trying to chase you. Because you're
I
like,
guess that sounds kind of fun.
it's awesome.
It sounds like Peaky Blinders, like
yeah, but it's like early.
Stuff.
It's like it's Western, you know.
Is that not Western?
Peaky Blinders?
What the heck am I thinking of?
Peaky Blinders is not Western. Peaky Blinders is.
What's that other movie? That other show on Netflix that is Western? That's like similar to. I never watched Peaky Blinders.
I don't have Netflix.
What do you watch that on then?
Peaky Blinders.
Is that not on Netflix?
This site that I have.
Oh, so you illegally stream.
Whoa!
Do you know what that means? That
hey,
he
watch
needs
it,
to go
thief.
to prison. He needs. Oh,
Lord Norton, Baylee Davis has been shoplifting since she was 12. She
oh
admitted
my
to it.
God! I can't believe you just outed me like that.
She's just like Red. She's just like everyone. I did.
Actually, to answer your question, Alex, I'm the one being redeemed.
You're being redeemed.
Yeah. I will never forgive you for that.
I
can never assure this to a future
if
employer.
anybody's getting redeemed, it's Red. Because Red, we see Red the first time he gets an interview, he totally blows it off.
His first appeal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second time he aces it.
Mm-hmm.
He does fantastic.
It's constantly him just like getting better, I feel like, and improving.
And part of that is
he
his
redeems
good
his
bro,
mind,
Andy.
and he redeems his mindset. Like once again with the hope, like he literally is like no hope, and then he ends it with I
He's
hope.
got a cold heart when we first meet him, and then at the end,
and then Andy breaks free, breaks it open.
Oh my God!
Cracks it open.
Such a great bromance.
Such a good romance. They're so good for each other.
It is, and it's one of the. This is why this is the #1 movie on IMDb.
9.3 out of 10, baby.
Shout out IMDb. We don't like you, Rotten Tomatoes.
They did get a 90% though, so I will say thank you. However, we don't like you.
Yeah, your numbers are false, fake news.
Except for that one.
But still,
that should be a little higher, I think.
It should be at least 95.
At least 95 for sure.
9.3 on IMDb. That's fine. We'll take
That's
it.
very. IMDb is hard to do well on.
It is.
So.
And if you're doing well on IMDb,
then
it's
you're
gonna
set,
be good.
You're
it's high
good.
quality.
You're fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, I just know that if I produced a movie, 9.8 out of 10, easy. First night.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Jake, Alex, Caldwell, thanks for tuning in. Boys, Jake, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Holker. Dad, hope tax season's going well.
Thank you for listening,
Mrs.
Holkers.
Davis as well. And to go out, what do you think we're going out to?
Is it the opera? Tell me
No.
it's the opera.
It's our good friend, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
The only thing everyone needs to hear right now.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great Wednesday night. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.
Don't forget to get busy living or get busy dying.
We love you, Morgan Freeman.